My dear children, today is Saturday, the 12th of September, and this is economics class. Today we are going to begin a new lesson for you. This is chapter number 5 and it is called the factors of production. Specifically, we are going to discuss about the capital and entrepreneur in this chapter. Dear children, in the previous videos we have already completed the first part of the factors of production in lesson number 4, and it was land and labor. In chapter 5 we are going to discuss the capital and entrepreneur. So the first important concept of capital, what is a capital? Capital refers to the man-made durable goods which are used as input in the process of production. So those all are the capital. So when we say capital, the meaning of capital is not restricted only to the money. The meaning of capital is it refers to every productive inputs which has the ability to produce. Those are called capital. So capital are feasible and tangible, should remain for a long time, and physical should exist. We should be able to see, touch and use it. So those are capital. Like sunlight is very important for us, but it is not a capital because it is not tangible, it is not physical, we cannot see it. Now next topic is types of capital. There are 4 different types of capital. The first is the durable equipment with the producer. Durable means something that exists or lasts for a long time. And this is a producer good, not consumer. It is not for us, not for consumer. We all are consumer. For producer means those people who are producing. And those durable commodities which the producer use, like tools, machines, technology, these are even the buildings, these are the durable equipment with the producer. That is the first type of capital. Next is the non-residential structure, where we do not live, we do not sleep. We use it, the buildings we use for several other purposes, like some of the constructions we make and we use later as office, warehouse, power plants, stock, we keep our stock there. So these places are the non-residential structure. We do not use it as for residential purpose. So this is the second type of capital. Next is the inventories. Inventories of input and output that farms have in stock. So farms have in stock some commodities which can be used as input as well as the output. Those are called inventory. So you can also say the raw materials. Those are capital because they have the ability to produce. They have the ability to produce means the inputs can be used in the process of production and something can be prepared. It can satisfy. So those are productive resources and they are inputs. The stocks or the inventories which were lying in the stock in the form of the output, they are ready, and when it goes to the market, they can satisfy the need of many people. So for this reason, they are also the capital. And the next one is residential structure, like many buildings are constructed that satisfy the needs of the people, and for the purpose of rent also it may be hired. So they can also be considered as capital because it brings money, it brings profit, it satisfies them. So these are some of the types of capital given in chapter 5. Actually it's on page number 125 in my book. It may differ slightly in yours. Next type of capital is fixed capital and the working capital. Fixed capital refers to those capital which has the ability to increase the productive potential of an economy. So when we say the productive potential of an economy, that means the ability of the economy is enhanced. The ability of the economy to produce quicker and in a better, that ability is enhanced. Those are fixed capital, like technology and buildings. What do? Is they increase the potential, they enhance the potential, they enhance the ability of the producer to produce in a better state, and they exist for a long time. Next is the working capital. Working capital refers to the stock of finished and semi-finished consumer goods. These are consumer goods. Consumer goods means it is for us, it is not for the workers. It is not for the people working there in the factory. So either stock of finished or semi-finished. Finished means ready to be consumed, and semi-finished means something yet to be done on them. So those are also called working capital. So working capital refers to all the stock of finished and semi-finished consumer goods. Next type of capital is a social capital. Social capital are those capital which does not bring the economic welfare but brings about the social welfare to the society. These kind of resources or capital are normally or usually possessed by government, and the purpose of this is not to make money, but the purpose of this kind of social capital is to attend to the social need of the people, like education, sanitation, hospital. These all are possessed by the governments, which in fact brings a loss to the government. Still the government undertakes because it brings the social welfare to the society. So social capital, these all are called the social capital. And the last one is the human capital, and the human capital is used or is for enhancement of quality of workers. Like a loss of time, money is invested even on the human being. And what does it do is it increases the productive capacity of the worker. So human being is also the human capital, because the productive capacity by means of training, by means of investing the money and the time, the productive capacity can be increased. So human capital is the last type of capital that we need to learn in this chapter. So dear children, these were just the beginning of lesson number 5. We are just introducing you with the topic called capital, and these are some of the different type of capital that we learn in this class. So in the next video clip, dear children, we shall discuss the characteristics of capital. Children, welcome back. We were discussing capital. This is a continuation video, the second video on the same topic called capital. Capital we are discussing from production point of view. We are discussing capital as a factor of production. Now what we are going to discuss is the characteristics of capital. This point number 5.1.3, same chapter, number 5, factors of production and capital characteristics. So characteristics, the first characteristics of capital is this, that capital is a man-made or producible good. Man-made. There are so many things we consider a capital which are free of nature existing here on the earth. But those are not capital. Capital must be man-made. Sunlight, air, these things are very important for our survival. But these are not the capital, because these are not man-made. The first important point in the characteristics of capital that you should know is this, that the capital is a man-made and producible good. Producible good means ability, we should be able to produce them. We should be able to produce the capital. So these should not be naturally occurring, free of nature, free of any cost. Next is the durability. Durability means long lasting. Any capital must be used or should have the ability to use for a long time. So once we buy a capital, once we prepare a capital, it should remain with us for a long time. And if it is not, then it may not be considered as a capital. Next is the capital needs to be brought before production begins. So before the production begins, all the capital are to be assembled. Only then the production begins. Like one example I will give you. If you want to begin an office, then you need to have the structure first. You need to have the physical structure of the office. You need to have the typewriter, computer, man hired, all the furnitures. Everything has to be ready. Only then the functioning of the office will begin. So the capital needs to be brought ahead of the production begins. Next is the risk factor are involved in the capital. Risk factor are of course involved. Like some of the capital which may be brought there after machines, they may get spoiled, or if you may have a plan of investing or use a sum of money and buy a capital that may, according to your plan, remain with you in good condition for 10 years. But after using 3 or 4 years, you find that it has been replaced by new advanced technology. Like there is always a fear that some of the capital get obsolete or they get outdated, and there if you don't use outdated, if you use outdated technology, then you yourself become outdated, because you cannot keep in pace with the pace of the market. Okay, so you become outdated. So this is a big risk involved in the capital. Next is capital is a passive factor of production. Dear children, I have already explained to you what are the passive and what are the active factor of production. It is the ability of one to produce on its own. Who can produce on its own is labor and entrepreneur. We can produce on our own. Whenever I would like to switch on, I will do that. Whenever I would like to come under the fan, I may myself move, switch on the switches. I may do anything. I'm thirsty, I will drink water. So that is an active factor. Entrepreneur is an active factor. But land, when the land is in need of water, the land will not go anywhere. It will have to wait until somebody comes and pour water on it. Okay. Land and capital, and most of the capital, not all the capital. In fact, most of the capital, not all. Few minor and small capital are movable, like tractors, vehicles. These are also capital, but they are movable. But a big structure like a school building is a capital. Of factory, the building of factory is a capital. Once set up, once established, is immobile. The big machines, once set up, is immobile. A tower, once you pitch it straight, it is immobile. It loses its mobility. So most of the used capitals, or most of the capitals, are immobile. Now in this connection, what are the mobile is? This is a passive factor of production, means left on its own it cannot do anything. Like capital, a machine is there, a computer is there. You need somebody to come and operate on the computer. You need somebody to come and switch on the computer. The computer will not on its own start functioning. So it is a passive factor. Who are the active factor? Are man and entrepreneur. Next is most of capitals are immobile. The capital cannot move. Already I told you, land and capital are immobile. In this connection, most of the capitals are immobile, not all. Land is perfect mobility. Land is perfectly immobile. Capital, most of the big capitals are, and once they are pitched up, they are immobile. There are few small and minus capital that has the mobility. Perfect immobile is land, and most of the capitals are also immobile. Entrepreneur and labor, they are highly mobile. They have a high power of mobility. Next is the capital is different from wealth. Now this you need to understand. What is wealth and what is capital? Capital must have, the most important factor which makes the wealth different from capital is this. Wealth will not yield you further. Wealth left on its own will not yield you further. Or wealth is the amount with you. That is the wealth. Capital has the power to yield further. Wealth does not have. Like your earrings for girls, earring, your necklace, these are the wealth. I have a car, this is my wealth. It does not make me richer. It does not grow or bring growth in me. They comfort me, but they do not make me richer. But if I have the capital, then capital will definitely make me richer. If I have one car and if I am using it as a capital, then with the income it may bring another car. So that is the main difference. Wealth does not have the ability to produce further. Capital, whereas, has the ability to produce further. So this is the major difference between the wealth and the capital. So with this, dear children, we wind up this class, and this is the end of today's class. We shall meet again the next week. Thank you.